how did setting boundaries, what boundaries did you set? And how did that help you allow your body to resolve
Yeah.
cancer?
I am for sure not going to listen to the news. If I am someplace and somebody starts talking about somebody or focus on the negative, I'm going to try to change the subject. If I can't, I'm out. If I feel myself starting to get, worked up about something, I'm going to sit with it, figure out if it's true. I was just so open, but with that knowing that all things are working for my good. I don't know, later I noticed it wasn't there anymore. I had completely forgot about it because I wasn't giving it power, whether it was there or not there anymore. I was focused on learning, enjoying, loving. Just like I was saying before, what do you want? And then go find it every place else in your life. So I wanted freedom, joy, peace. That's what I was focused on. And at some point, the image disappeared. I've had other medical situations, and I went to the doctor and I did those things while I was doing this. This time, after the diagnosis, I didn't. I just did this. So I'm not saying don't go to the doctor, don't do those. I'm saying you do whatever you're inspired, led to do, but you can find peace through all of it. But just know there's more. There's more to your healing than just the physical. Your body is made to heal so you can help amplify whatever, medicine is doing.
Today, my guest is Shannon Corporon, a certified alignment, wellness, and joy coach. She uses foolproof methods and exercises to help her clients take the perfect next steps towards whatever they desire in relationships, career, health, confidence, fulfillment, and spiritual connection. Certified as a Mastery Method life coach with a master's degree in education, Shannon's unique approach focuses on managing mindset and energy, empowering her clients to take aligned actions towards their deepest desires. She lives her work, embodies her innate joy, and loves being a part of people's journey to uplevel what's been holding them back, connect to their inner wisdom, and move forward in creating a life that truly lights them up. Get ready for the tsunami of joy coming your way with Shannon Corporon right here on Soulgasm with Polo Tate. Shannon Corporon, welcome to Soulgasm. It is so beautiful to have you today. How are you?
Oh, it's such a blessing to be here, to see your face and be a part of this beautiful experience. I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm so excited to talk to you too, because this show is all about how to live an all-in, all-win life. And whatever that means to you, to truly be more and have more and do more and be more in the full expression of our true selves. And I know that this is your business.
Yeah.
This is maybe what you would say a life, your life's calling. Or I will let you describe like your origin story and sort of how you came to the transformational space that you're in, because it's so exciting to see. And we've known each other actually for quite some time now. And I'm so excited to hear what's going on,
Yes.
what's new in your world,
Mm-hmm.
and hear your journey to sort of come to the place that you are presently. And my first question to you is, what is your passion, Shannon? What truly lights you up?
So I have always felt that when I was in alignment with, I'll call it my highest self, but I will call it God. And for me, God is all loving. The connection between all of us. For me, God has many names that other people use that I connect with. It is all that is love, the divine. And so I always felt that when I was in alignment with that, I was lit up. And when I was in my 20s is when I could really articulate, okay, my purpose is to be in alignment with God and with my highest self, what lights me up. And then that guides me to go down so many adventures and manifest in different ways. And so I'm a life coach and a teacher, and that has always been my role. I have always been the person that people came to really what I was doing, always to help them get back into alignment with their highest self. It's always been my role. every friend I've ever had, that's who I am. And so people started saying that when life coaches, you started hearing it was more common. People would say to me, "Oh, you're my spiritual coach. You're my life coach." And I think my phone might have heard that, because then I started getting things pop up about that. And so
Shout out to Big Brother.
so, so then I went through a very intense, amazing program, and I got certified. And so I have officially, been a coach. And so now I'm just really what I'm doing is helping people become aware, because first we got to be aware, and then be open to transformation, and then take aligned action so that they can feel lit up and interest. And there's no end point. We're going to keep rolling with life. You don't get to this destination when this happens, then I'll be happy. No, you're going to take yourself with you. And if you're not happy now, you're probably not going to be happy when the thing happens. So we got to find our joy and our interest and our passion and our love now.
Yes, I love it. Would you be willing to put more words around and describe what alignment feels to you, and also what that means and how it expresses itself in your life? What can you look for? What can our beautiful audience look for when they know that they're in alignment?
So it's when you feel lit up and at the same time you feel peace. There is a knowing that all things are working for my good, that this feels at ease. Anytime we're pushing against, trying to make something happen, I am all about action. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm about aligned action, not fearful action, not I got to make this happen action. But when you are lit up and interested and at peace, that is when I feel that I am in alignment. And when I am coming from love and joy and interest, and you can't help but smile or just have that peace. I always say it's when my heart is smiling. And there's lots of different ways to get there. That's basically what I do as a coach, is I help you get there. But you're there when you have a peace.
Ooh, I love that. I love that feeling. And I'm curious, just in my own life. We'll take yesterday as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I literally started the day out by cutting myself shaving, profusely bleeding on my ankle because I accidentally sort of slipped and missed. I dropped not one, not two, but 3 bottles of water and spilled them everywhere. And to me, when I start dropping things, or when I start having like little mishaps, stubbing my toe, doing something like that, I know instantly that is a sign that I am out of alignment. So for you, what are those moments? Name one, if you wouldn't mind, moment in your life where you really recognized and became aware that you were out of alignment. And how did you get yourself back into alignment?
So what comes up for me are 2 different things that are completely connected. So these are like big things. I could take you through some little things, but these were some big like bombs in my life.
The bigger, the better.
They're big. So when I was 29, my mom passed away suddenly. I had no idea that it was happening, and you're in complete disbelief. But what I heard was, I'm your mother. You will always be mothered. And Polo, just looking at you right now, it makes me tear up, because I've always been mothered, and your mother, when I have been in her presence, hi Diana, has always made me feel mothered. I am 53 years old. I am mothered today. So, and that calm, even though I did not like what was happening, nothing was good about it, I felt such a peace. Craziness was happening, right? Fear was happening. What do we do was happening. All of this stuff was happening, but I just heard, I'm your mother. And what that meant to me was, my mom was everything but that. This higher power, what I call God, what is present and what everybody can feel in their hearts, whatever they call it, had me. And so I had grown up with this faith. So I just went back to that, and I went back to that. And I saw myself mothered and mothered and mothered. And so that grew stronger and stronger. I trust this. I trust this. And so then 10 years later, hello, my husband says, I want a divorce. Out of nowhere. I had no idea that there was anything wrong with our marriage. The company was going through some real horrible times, but he had come talked to me many times about how grateful he was that we were going through this together, what a strength I was to him. And so I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't know it was that. So once again, and then there's so much attached to that. Like, oh, like all kinds of stuff came up. Oh, I'd be the first person in my lineage to ever get a divorce. What would happen to my children? So all this stuff is happening, right? All this stuff is going through my head. But then what I heard was, no, I'm your husband and you will always be cared for. And that's all I heard, but it meant so much to me because I'd had the last 10 years of being completely mothered. And I just was like, okay, I'm going to trust this, that I will be cared for. And that first year of divorce is a wackadoo time. It sucks, but I could always get myself back into alignment with that. And I kept hearing things like, y'all aren't in alignment anymore. This isn't, y'all did okay. You were together. There's many blessings. You have 2 amazing kids. You've learned a lot, but y'all aren't in alignment. So let's see what I have for you. I have some amazing people that are going to care for you. And I was divorced for 10 years and I just kept going back to that quiet place of God as my husband and just what all that husband represented. And I had some amazing men in my life. I had some other people that just took care of me. And now I'm remarried, such a blessing. I don't want anybody to go through a divorce, but I can really say, oh, this is the best situation. My ex-husband and I have the best relationship. And after that first year is a little much. But after that, I mean, anybody that you ask that knows us, that we are the best divorced couple. We had some boundaries that helped that happen. And we can talk about that if you want to. But he has always been there for me. He has been there for our kids. We have worked together and it has been the best situation. Like I had my time off and then I had really, time with my kids. It really just was the best situation that I never would have thought that. But just like so many things, it turns out to be a blessing. And it all came from me hearing that quiet voice that I could get back into alignment with. And I saw evidence of it, and just to trust and move with that expectancy. That's what helps you when the mental chatter starts. So.
Oh, there's so many beautiful golden nuggets in this. And I so appreciate you being willing to share, especially starting with your mama's passing. And I just want to highlight that voice. When you say you heard those things, you are talking about the whisper of source energy or infinite intelligence or God. Can you call it also your intuition that you heard palpably? Would you call it that or no?
Well, I do call, like, I have a lot of names for God. All the ones you said, source, divine, intuition, but you have to be in that place, right? Like I do a lot of videos on YouTube and I have one that's specifically about how to get into that. And your intuition is that still small voice within that's not coming from fear or lack or want, is a peaceful knowing. And when you can, and you want to make it a practice of getting into alignment, tapping into your intuition, so you know what it feels like, and your nervous system and your body is familiar with that more than it is all the noise. Because you got to be able to distinguish between the two so that you can really feel it and draw into it.
Ooh, and it is subtle often, especially in the beginning. Are you willing to walk us through just a little bit of how to discern and then how to practice? Because there is so much chatter, like you were saying, and especially when we're going through like something equivalent to the death of a loved one or that first year after divorce, when there is so much chatter and there is a barrage of information happening around us and a barrage of evidence that we don't necessarily want to collect for ourselves to bolster whatever hypothesis of desire we choose, how do we make that distinction? How do we start discerning what is the voice of our true higher self working on our behalf in every single moment, and what is mere chatter?
Well, I think you first have to become really familiar with it. And so I have practices myself. I have my clients doing certain things that you have to feel it first. You're not in all the chatter when the noise isn't rolling. And so you have to make that more familiar than everything else. So like for the last almost 30 years, I've written in a gratitude journal. I will write down at least 5 things that I'm grateful for. And in the beginning, I had to really look for what I was grateful for because I knew I was going to write it down. Then it just became a part of my being. I don't go around and look what I'm grateful for. It's just through the eyes that I see the world. And then it rubbed off, just by the way, on my family. My husband knows I'm going to look over to him and say, what are you grateful for? The previous husband knew I was going to look over and say, what are you grateful for? My children, that was a part of nightly, going to sleep. And so it's just, that's where I go first. My phone is what I call my toolkit. All of my clients, and I am ready. I am not going to be taken off guard. And if I feel off guard, I have my medicine, which is, for me, it's scripture or thoughts from, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hayes, just all of these, Abraham Hicks, all of these amazing people, thought leaders out there. I have quotes from them in my phone. I have affirmations, what I know is true about me on my voice notes. I have tons of these. I also have timer alarms in my phone that go off that it is my time, because I can have a great intention at the beginning of the day, but then when all the noise comes along, I get sucked into that forget. So I have alarms that go off a couple of times a day where I'm either I'm listening to one of those. I have a 3-2-1 process, which within a minute can bring me my body, my mind, and the love that is in me. I reconnect with that. So first of all, you have to create some patterns in your life where your intuition, your highest power, source, infinite intelligence, all of those words, what that feels like. And it has to be more familiar than all the other stuff. So I would say first step is you got to create some kind of practices that get you into alignment. And then it's really not that difficult to hear, because you're so conditioned to be in alignment that when all the noise starts, you're like, yeah, that's not from source. That is fear. That is some irritation that happened earlier in the day that I didn't deal with and I've drug along with me. And all this stuff that's saying it's not even true. And it's an old story that still triggers me that I am not that person anymore. So I have learned a whole lot along the way. I'm not the 20-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever. And you just start to notice it's all about awareness. So that's another part of your practice, is just to sit with your thoughts sometime. Question them. Is that true? Nope. And just to sit and feel it in your body. Where do you feel it in your body? And then you let that part of you speak. And you kind of treat it like a sweet little one. Like, what do you need? And just let it vomit for a minute. And then get connected. If I can't get connected with my highest self, music works for me really well. I have a whole playlist of goodness that I can get myself out of it. Or even if you just jump up and down and shake and breathe, just breathe. Everything should always start with a breath, just by the way, just let that out. But just get that negative, dense energy out so that you can climb yourself back up your emotional scale and connect with the love that's you, because it's there. So I don't know if I went to where you wanted me to go. I was just rolling.
You went far beyond it, and dipping and whirling and giving us golden nuggets to get back into alignment, because I love your premise. I love your mentioning of expectancy, because I think truly we do set out to prove our hypotheses. And usually they come from the framework of the past, right? All of those limiting beliefs that you talk about so eloquently and beautifully in your videos and on your website, all the things that you coach people on belief busting, that question, exactly what you said, are those thoughts mine? Or are they something that I've just accepted and adopted from those who are bigger and who are responsible for my well-being, or the discourse that's around, society? Like, it starts right there. First of all, what do you want to experience? What do you want to create? And then we look for evidence of that all around. So for you to sort of highlight the fact, like, we're looking for evidence. If we start from the practice of gratitude or appreciation, and we start our day to make a habit of doing this every day, writing down those things that we appreciate, that's our hypothesis. We are going to look now for evidence because, like you said, we know we're going to have to write it down. We're going to look for evidence about what we're grateful for in this life. And you start gathering that evidence. And that's it. When you said, it starts to become easier and easier, that bubbled up because you begin to get in the habit, and then your whole orientation starts to shift for looking for the evidence of what you want to prove. And so often we're not aware of what we want to prove. We have all of these limiting beliefs that say money doesn't grow on trees, like I'm too old to learn new things, like all of those beliefs that are not ours, nor are they true or relevant to our life now. So thank you for highlighting that because it's huge.
Well, and what's coming up for me is I'll have clients that want a relationship or a new job or whatever they want. And I am like, okay, well, let's get down to why you want that. And so they'll say, I don't want to be alone. I want somebody to have fun with. And we're just going to keep going down to why until you can give me a feeling, until you can say, sometimes people will be like, it makes me feel worthy, or it makes me feel loved, or whatever that feeling is. Just keep questioning until you can get down to what you want, what feeling you want. And then you have that feeling somewhere in your life. Focus on that. Let's find more evidence of where you feel safety in your life and focus on that and experience more safety. And then you've elevated your safety feeling, and just watch. There's going to be more safety because you're no longer going, I'm not safe. And so then you're going to find evidence of I'm not safe if that's your core belief about why you want that. So let's start finding evidence in your life where you already have that deepest desire, and watch how that comes and manifests in your life more fully.
Oh, I love this so much. I love this so much because we live in an inclusive existence, right? We can't exclude anything out of our existence. So where our focus goes, energy grows, right? Where focus goes, energy grows, and it grows bigger, whatever we focus upon. So that's exactly what you're saying in terms of like, look for the evidence of where we already have that. Let that grow so big that it just keeps getting bigger and more full in your life and edging out anything else that is the opposite. That is incredible.
And then you feel amazing along the way, right? I mean, then you feel great. Your vibration is raised and you're seeing more to be grateful for, and you're feeling more love, and it just helps everything. And then you're feeling more of your intuition. You're feeling more of alignment. So when all the noise comes along, you can go, not me, because it helps you practice your alignment even more, your connection to the peace and the love that is you.
I am so appreciative of you just breaking this down with such eloquent simplicity, especially that premise. And we take that and you can extrapolate it onto the situation with your mama, with your mom passing away at the age of 29. And immediately, not only hearing that voice that said you are mothered, but heeding it. So immediately looking for evidence of where your mother, and you're right, my mom loves you. She loves you like a surrogate daughter. She does. And my guess is that is what you started to, for lack of a better term, attract, because that was your vibration, right? We know the law of attraction works in myriad ways all the time with everything. So whatever you're searching for, you will find. Whatever we seek, we'll find.
Yep.
If you are searching for that knowing that you are mothered, then that mothering energy, nurturing energy that takes care of you is going to reveal itself.
Yeah. And if you can just be open, just trust for a minute, just be open. If we're sometimes searching, but then we're coming from lack, just be open to feel the presence of love in your life and appreciate it when you see it, or whatever your deeper desire is. It's typically safety, worth, love. And I'm also really into interest. What makes you, what lights you up? We're not just trying to get to this end destination. Let's have some fun now. I'm the joy coach on TikTok. So that's just what one of my clients, I was late to the game, and my client was like, oh no, that needs to be your name, the joy coach. Okay. So let's get there now. Think back to when you were a kid. What lit you up? Okay, now maybe you're not going to do that as a career, but you would still have that in your life right now. The thing that you would do for hours for free and it just lit you up. Go do that. Bring that back into your life. Look for what excites and delights you and do more of that. That's going to help you get into alignment and make being in alignment more familiar than the noise.
Ooh, it's so important to sort of reach the tipping point of what feels truly good versus what feels familiar, until what feels truly good is familiar to you. Mm-hmm. And I see you walking that tightrope and being and using curiosity and interest as the tow rope to lead you there. What did you used to play as a child?
I don't know. I always had joy. I was always joyful. So sometimes I would play teacher, I would play house, I would play mom. I did kind of traditional things, but I was into sports too. So I was a big swimmer. I would swim. I was always in dance class. So I like to do things with my body, and I love to work out now. I just love it. And so I'm so glad that I cultivated that and kept that with you, because, there's so many studies, that's just going to bless you in so many ways. I've always been the person that people came to, and it lit me up to help them get into alignment with their best selves, because I could see it. And that's the whole reason why you have a coach, is because they see your blind spots. So my whole life, I was always seeing everybody's blind spots and helping connect them to what lit them up. And so that's what lights me up, talking to you right now. Coaching sessions, people are like, how do you sit and listen to everybody's problems? I'm not. I look at it as information, and I see their beauty, their wholeness, their completeness, and it lights me up for them to discover it. So really, that has always lit me up. So that just put all that together for me, Polo. I never really thought about that. That's what lit me up as a kid too.
Oh, I love that. You take that and you extrapolate that, you're knowing and seeing all of people's struggles and foibles or limiting beliefs or complaints. You just seeing that as objective information. We can do that too. You're helping us remind ourselves that that's just information. It's good to know. It has very little to do with who you are at your essence and the complete being that you just described. That is so cool. And I love the fact that, okay, so just full disclosure for the audience. We met when you had gotten divorced.
Yes.
You were in your single phase of life. And you were going through massive transformation and on a journey to really find who you were now.
Connect with people that wanted to be lit up. And your energy and my energy just went, and we were like, hello, and then your mom and I had all this kind of we had so much in common. And then, so it was just like this. And so I was going through a phase, and I had some space because my ex had my kids, and I was like, all right, let's go do this. And we just connected, and it lit up. So, they're always like the 5 people that you hang out with, go find the people that light you up. And then this just came up yesterday with a client. So I'm just going to share this. Now with your kids and with you, it's who are you following on social media? I have all of my clients, they can keep their old social media so they can check in on whoever, but they have to start a new Instagram. Typically it's Instagram or TikTok when they're younger account, and it can only be things that light you up. There cannot be one thing on it that you feel bad about. It has to be and the algorithm helps you with that, right? So all you're seeing when you, sometimes people like to veg and just look at stuff. If you're scrolling, you can only be on this. And so when they're working with me, that's kind of, they agree to that, and they can go check the other things to see how this cousin did at this thing, just do some check-ins. But we're not going to scroll on that because we want to cultivate our 5 people, let's say, that are going to lift us up, that are going to make us feel good about ourselves. And if there's anything that does not, we're not following them. And so I don't know why I went into all of that, but anyway.
That is brilliant, because so often with technology, we are prone to, allowed to be isolated in our room scrolling, right? Like, these are our friends. They are people who influence us. The term influencer is there for a reason. Like, that is our, those are the people from whom we absorb, right? So make them people who actually will nourish you in ways and lift you up. Oh, that is brilliant. I love that. And I love you talking about when you were a little one, and sort of the fact that you always loved to light people up, and the fact that you were doing this before you even knew it was a thing. Like, I love that realization and that epiphany. And I'm so curious to know for you, because we are very similar in so many beautiful ways. I'm wondering, what is the relationship between nutrition, your body, and healing, like the spiritual work and the coaching work that you do?
So let's see. I've always had, this has been the thing that has kept me praying because
something has got to.
It has been a constant thing for me, because I guess probably when I went off to college, I don't know if I had an eating disorder, but not like I would throw up, or I could eat a whole pan of brownies. No problem. Wasn't a problem. I could eat so much dessert. And I went to the University of Texas in Austin, and you have to walk so much that it didn't show up. But I started this pattern. Like, if I felt joyful or overwhelmed, I would go and just shovel all this stuff in. And I was walking so much and, doing so much activity that didn't show up. But then after I graduated, I wasn't doing all of that. And I put on weight, and I was like, okay, I got to stop something. I was never a big drinker, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to drink. That'll get rid of some calories, and then so I just started having this tug and pull, and it's just always kept me praying. And I've never been huge, but I have always, been struggling with this. And so when I was 50, I did, kind of get on a program, and I lost 25 pounds, and I stayed with it for a while. But I've gained a lot of it back. So for me, really, Polo, this is a constant. I think I've just sort of made peace with it. Like, I try to be present with it. Like, okay, what is this going to bless me? But then I have a whole spiritual thing where it's like, I'm energy. I'm an expression. So it's a big battle for me.
My body can take care of that pan of brownies.
Yeah, exactly. And I have had evidence of it, but then sometimes I don't. And so I do notice that when I am in alignment, either it's not talking to me, because all my friends can tell you, here's my story. When food would start talking to me, and the only way I can make it stop talking is eat all of it, or pour it in the trash and put Dawn on it, because I've been known to go back in and get it if it didn't have stuff on it or whatever, right?
I think we've all been there anyway.
So when I'm in alignment, it will either, I can become more aware, or I won't want it, or you know what, my body metabolizes it. And doctors might be like, no, but I don't know, we're energy. And so it is something that keeps me praying. I will just say that, and keeps me aware. It is something that, yeah.
Keeps you praying for what?
And sometimes I don't even know, because I have eat a whole pan of brownies and felt amazing. I don't feel bad. I'm having fun. My mind goes, well, we don't like that you did that. That's more than one serving. So my mind will store all of this stuff, but no evidence happens negatively in my body. I don't feel bad. I'm in joy. So this is kind of my struggle, is I've experienced, it didn't really matter what I ate, but it's not super consistent. So I know this isn't like me helping anybody. It's just something I'm always kind of trying to figure out, because I can be in alignment and my body just metabolizes stuff. But some other times I think I'm in alignment and I notice, oh, look, I put on a little bit of extra here, And so it is just to be totally open. It is something that I am just continually working on and trying just to not judge myself and just allow myself to have this experience and just see. I know in my heart, all things are working for my good. Everything is good information. And so I'm just aware and paying attention to what triggers are coming up, or what's not coming up, or how do I feel? So everybody, I'm sure, has an ongoing something, and this is my ongoing something. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I am not going to judge myself. I've already experienced that I'm not like everybody else. And guess what? Nobody else is either. You know what I mean? Like, I've been healed of cancer. I have fallen off a roof and was supposed to have all these back injuries. And I've experienced the power of collective prayer. As soon as a big group of people found out, I was not in pain. And the doctors were like, what just happened? And I didn't know. I was like, I don't know. So I've just had some experiences that always have me curious and turning towards the divine.
What is the closest you've ever come to death?
I don't know. I don't know that I wasn't going to die when I fell off the roof. I have been so protected. Like, some things came up just then. One time when I was pregnant, I was driving along, and then all of a sudden, like, just something fell off inside of my car that doesn't fall off. And I was like, what? And so I was at a light and I didn't go. And if I would have gone, this 18-wheeler just decided to go, cut through. So I was protected there. I've been protected in the car a whole lot. Stuff like that. And so I don't know that I've ever been, you know what? I don't get upset while I drive. I have such compassion with everybody because I have done dumb things too. You know what I mean? And
no, I have never done a dumb thing. No, not at all.
People like get so upset when they drive, and I'm like, I am just like so grateful. We can go wherever we want, and I just feel completely protected because of those experiences, and just the feeling that I have and the knowing. So I don't think I've come I don't know if I've come close to death or not, but I never felt like it. I always felt like I've been protected.
When you got the diagnosis of cancer, what was that like for you?
So I was in Arizona.
Okay.
And literally every day on the news, there was something about cancer, and then, okay. So I believe that our bodies manifest. So dis-ease, that our bodies manifest whatever dis-ease is going on. So there were some dis-ease going on, just trying to figure things out about when I was in my 20s. There was this constant thing going on, replaying in my head about skin cancer. And then in my life, I look back on it and I think there wasn't, but I know I was going through something at the time. So anyway, when this came up, I was like, what's going on? I've just been taught to look at life this way. what dis-ease is happening within me. So I was already aware of that. I'm like, okay, you can show up however you want, but I know that there's something for me to learn here. Did you say something?
Meaning illness. You can show up however
Yeah.
you want in terms
Yeah.
of the
Body.
manifestation of dis-ease, body,
Yeah.
something in your
Yeah.
body.
I have been brought up to really know that I am a spiritual idea, and that a lot of times what's going on in our body is a manifestation of what's been going on in our mind, in our soul, in our, past stories, all the things. And so I took this time and just was like, okay, you can be there, you know. And, I didn't do any of the medical things because I don't know why I didn't. To be honest, I have no idea I wouldn't, because now when you have kids and all this stuff, there's more at stake. It was just me. I was married, but I was like, I'm going to go on this spiritual journey. And I had some fear, but I also had some knowing. My mom hadn't passed away yet. So I don't even know. Like, I was really on a spiritual journey then too. So I was constantly filling myself up with, it's when I had been filling myself up with inspiration from a lot of different religions. But I'd also started learning about Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay. So it was the first time I was learning about other ideas that totally aligned with how I was brought up. And so I was really into this. So I was just inspired to just allow and focus on my alignment. And yes, little things would come in, but that's when I stopped watching the news. I started creating boundaries, and I wouldn't let myself get sucked into some of this stuff because I knew that was creating disease in my being, and I wasn't going to allow that anymore.
I'm so glad you circled back to boundaries, because in this circumstance, could you talk about what that means to set boundaries in your life when you're dealing with a diagnosis, as everybody has either experienced themselves or vicariously, when you're dealing with a diagnosis and we're conditioned to treat it as an indictment for the duration or for the rest of our lives? How did setting boundaries, what boundaries did you set? And how did that help you allow your body to resolve cancer?
Yeah. So I just knew that I needed to be more aligned with what God said about me and what the divine, because I was also getting all this other spiritual stuff. So I was I had the stories from the Bible that were really a part of my experience and with Jesus healing. But then I was also starting to get all this other stuff from other religions, from other spiritual, and they were all saying the same thing with different words. But to me, it spoke to the same thing. So I was like, all I'm going to have in my existence right now is this. So I am for sure not going to listen to the news. If I am someplace and somebody starts talking about somebody or focus on the negative, I'm going to try to change the subject. If I can't, I'm out. If I feel myself starting to get, worked up about something, I'm going to sit with it, figure out if it's true. I was really strong in, how does God see me? And for me, remember, God is pure love. Okay. So there's lots of different ways people talk about God, but there's nothing fearful or a sinner, none of that in my learning of God. Okay. So how does God see me? How does God see this situation? How does divine love principle see the situation? So I was just constantly would only allow myself to live in that. And I've taken this with I've had other medical situations, and I went to the doctor and I did those things while I was doing this. This time after the diagnosis, I didn't. I just did this. So I'm not saying don't go to the doctor, don't do those. I'm saying you do whatever you're inspired, led to do, but you can find peace through all of it. And so maybe the doctor will say this, and you go, okay, and you do whatever you need to do there, but just know there's more. There's more to your healing than just the physical. And there's so much when you can get in alignment with your highest self, with the divine, that your body is made to heal so you can help amplify whatever, medicine is doing in your body. And you can find so much peace in yourself that is just going to take you to the next level. Like, that did so much for my trust. In every aspect, not just physical, because I haven't had too many physical. I mean, I kind of have, but like,
I was gonna say,
yeah,
cancer falling off a roof.
Yeah, I had my knee. I was doing tennis, and my knee was messed up. So I went to the doctor, and I had that taken care of, and I just stayed in peace through all of it. I spent more time focusing on feeling the love that's with me, and what does God, the divine love, say about this, and how can I be blessed by this situation? What can I learn? I was just so open, but with that knowing that all things are working for my good.
What were some of the things that you heard in asking, how does love view this situation of cancer?
I just always heard, so you're the image and likeness of God. So whatever your word is for it, you're the image and likeness of the divine or of source energy. And what is that? That is pure love, principle. It is a healing presence. It is love. I just heard, once again, I don't know if I heard I got you, but that was the feeling that I got. Like, you're good. Let's go on this journey, and let's just be so open to the blessings that are going to unfold for this. So let's get back into alignment. I think it was about this time, a little bit before that I started my gratitude journal. And so I was just so focused on that. It was just always get back in with me, come back to who you truly are. What's going to continue after this body isn't here? Your light, your love, your joy, your kindness, your interest, your inspiration, all of this, that's who you are. Now let's get into alignment with that, and let's lead your life from there. And let's be open and curious. I was so open and curious during this time. I was reading all kinds of different things, listening to all kinds of different things. And if they lit me up, then I listened to them more. So I was just lit up a lot. And so then I really kind of forgot about it for a while. I kept checking. Okay, here's something that I want to share that was really impactful to me. It had went away, and my mom knew about this. Okay, and so I lived in Arizona. They were in Texas. We had met up, and I was like, "Look, it's not here. It's not here. God is great. All is love. It's not here. It's not here." Well, guess what? It came back because
The cancer.
Well, the spot did. I didn't have it go checked out, so I don't know I don't know what it was, but in the exact same place, came back, and I was like, "Oh, I've given power to it again." Like, "Oh, I don't have it, so woo!" So it had me a little bit. Like that, I really didn't believe it. It didn't have it. So I got back into, and I can't remember at the time. I think at the time I was letting something else bug me. Yeah. And so I know I just went back into, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm going to express the love that is me. I'm not telling people don't go do the medical thing. I'm just telling you what I did and what lit me up and what felt good. That didn't feel good to be like, oh, and I did feel that way for a second. For 1 minute, I did feel like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. But then I was really like, something mental is going on here. Something spiritual, something's going on. Let's just be open again. Let's just be open again. And I don't know, later I noticed it wasn't there anymore. I had completely forgot about it because I wasn't giving it power, whether it was there or not there anymore. I was focused on learning, enjoying, loving. Just like I was saying before, what do you want? And then go find it every place else in your life. So I wanted freedom, joy, peace. That's what I was focused on. And at some point, the image disappeared. And now I'll have doctors who say early on, but you can't see anything. oh, that, I don't know what the word is. Oh, that was taken off nicely and healed, or something to that effect. Oh, that healed nicely, whatever the name for it is. And I would just go,
Melanoma, carcinoma, something like that.
yeah,
Blah, blah.
but yeah, something. Yeah. And I was like, and I just went on.
Oh God, I'm so appreciative of this conversation because it reminds us that our body's sole intention is to survive, right? And its sole, um, pun intended, its sole being mechanism is well-being, right? Its dominant force, if you want to use a beautiful
Yes.
Abraham term, its dominant force is well-being. That's the dominant force of everything. It is constantly working on our behalf. And so when you talk about dis-ease and you relate and correlate what's going on in your life, something was really bothering you. Well, those thoughts and that sort of misalignment, or it can manifest. We have tight muscles, we have injuries. It all has to do with one another. Body, mind, and spirit are inextricably linked. So from that framework, if we come from that beautiful understanding and knowing, all things are possible in terms of healing, because our body's got our back. And if it shows up, then it's talking to us. If something shows up in our experience on a spot on our skin, it's talking to us. And like you said, what other place of dis-ease in our life are we experiencing? Start there. And then the fact that you were able in that moment to recognize it, become aware of it, acknowledge it, accept that it's there, and then immediately reorient yourself to feeling and looking for evidence of what you really did want: freedom, joy, ease, all of those beautiful things that you said. Your body had to follow suit.
Yeah, it was really powerful that I've used, ever since. For all kinds of things. Because like I've said, yes, I have some physical things, but every day we have stuff that comes in, and it's the same process. Get back into alignment. How does divine love see this situation? And move from there.
What is your biggest, if you can even name it, what is your biggest regret in life?
I don't really think that way. I just think all things are working for my good. So have I done things that maybe I'm not super proud of, or, cringe a little at? Yes. But I think it's part of the learning process. I think it's a part of your growing. And I really have always believed this is how I made sense of life when I was young. Oh, this is a game called Be in Alignment with God. And for some reason, Chutes and Ladders is what came up. And so when you feel high, okay, you feel good. And then you do something that's not in alignment with God, well, you're going to go down. And so that's just what came to me when I was young. Okay, so when I'm not in alignment, when I'm not expressing my highest self of love, peace, honesty, kindness, when I'm not, then I'm going down. And you feel it. It doesn't feel right to express those things that are not who you are. And so that's how I made sense of it. And so I don't really have regrets. It was part of my learning. So yeah.
I love this, because if you look at life like a game, you're looking from a broader perspective, and you're seeing this adventure park, this amusement park called Earth for really what it is, a chance to have fun and feel the full range of human emotions that we do inevitably, because like you said, life happens. Like, what a beautiful way to look at it, like a Chutes and Ladder game.
And I don't know where that came up with, but I'm so glad that I had a sense of it when I was young. And of course I lied about stuff when I was young, or I would get sucked into the mean girl thing a little bit. But then I was that's just a little bit. Of course, those are the things that stick out because I was like, cringe, you know? But those are all things you have to go through to say, to draw the boundary of, oh no, I will not be that person. That is not who I am, and that is not who I am going to be. And you have all this evidence of how it doesn't work out well for you, you know, and it's not who I am. That's not me. So I am not doing that anymore. And we were talking about boundaries before. And so I have always had very clear boundaries, but I didn't realize that's the reason why I was so joyful until Brene Brown was talking about a study that she did. And she said, she was in an interview and she said, what do you think the one quality, she'd studied like 1,000 joyful people or whatever that they all have? And the person was like, positivity, seeing the good. She was like, boundaries. And the second she said that, I was like, oh, that is what I've been doing my whole entire life. I have very specific boundaries around who I will be around, what I will watch, the boundary of gratitude every night, the boundary of pouring in so that my spiritual cup is full. Like I said, I have things on my phone. I am very committed to keeping my spiritual cup full. And so I had all these boundaries. And when you do, then joy is our natural state. It is our natural state. And you can see that with the babies. And when people see babies smiling, everybody smiles because that's you. We only get excited and interested in things that are truly ours. And so that's us. And so if you can keep your spiritual cup full, then you can experience more joy and love your life.
Oh my gosh, I love this. Thank you so much for just being willing to express the true nature of who you are, which comes out as joyful and poignant and brilliant. I know that you're coming up, you're doing some amazing things, and I want to hear more about them. Tell our beautiful audience, if you wouldn't mind, what's on the horizon for you. Okay, we're gonna put your website and all of your information in the show notes. Obviously, what's on the horizon for you?
So I have the Love Your Life Toolkit Summit coming up. I'm the host, and so I have talked to a bunch of experts in all kinds of, in finances, in career, in health, in relationships, in parenting, all the different things. And they're all speaking through the lens of how do we love our life and what tools? So it's the Love Your Life Toolkit Summit, because I'm huge into tools. All of my clients, we create tools, and I use my tools every day. So everybody's talking through the lens of how do we love our life and what tools can we have? So you can go to loveyourlifetoolkit.com and sign up. It starts July the 15th, and it is a recorded email series. So you'll get an email every day. So for 21 days, that will help you change your patterns, because we have to change our patterns. And along the way, you will get free tools. And this is a free event. And you'll get tools to put in your toolkit. Amazing. And we have some amazing people. We have Dr. Rao, who is with Mind Valley. He has the most downloaded course. We have just so many inspirational people from from the whole span. We have astrology and all the way to very corporate and everything in between. And what I loved about it is, so some of the modalities I'm really not that familiar with, but what is so cool is I can connect to something from every single person because they're talking about love. I was involved in a lot of groups where a bunch of different religions came together, and I was so interested in all of it. I knew that we all had to have some kind of commonality. And as I was learning, it was love. Every single spiritual movement, religion's basis is love. And so that's what we want. We want to love ourselves and love our lives more. I would love for all of y'all to join me. Like I said, go to loveyourlifetoolkit.com and sign up.
We will be sure to put it in the show notes too, because there is nothing that we love more than tools. Practical tools to experience more love in our life, and also to experience what I am always seeking, which is really how to live an all in, all win life, whatever that means to you. Like, we're in this life experience, we're already all in. Let's seek and gather those tools along our path that will allow us to feel like the essence of success and fulfillment and pure love that we are at our core.
Yeah. And what I really notice is what kind of what we've talked about is that they all have their different ways, but it is all about awareness, connecting to your intuition, your inner self, your divine, just, what we were talking about. And then transformation, and then taking action. But it's got to be inspired. It's got to light you up. It's got to make sense. It's got to be at peace.
I love your introduction of this in looking at spirituality, religion, just life in general, trying to, pursuing a life that feels good, that's satisfying, that's fulfilling. Everybody may use a different lexicon, but at the basis of it, we all want to be seen, heard, respected, and loved. We all want to feel the love that we are. And so no matter what gets you there, no matter if it's religion or spirituality or taking a walk in nature, whether it is animals, whether it's babies, whatever that is, gather those tools. And for you to put together a summit where you can gather tools from a myriad of different people with different modalities and different lexicons, there will be something in there for everyone. So yes, that is awesome.
It's awesome.
Just out of curiosity, we always end our podcast with a heart seat round of questions. It's a hot seat for the heart. So whatever bubbles up. But before we begin that, what is your definition of Soulgasm?
Soulgasm. So my word is what lights you up.
Your
heart is smiling. What makes your heart smile? That is what it is for me. What lights you up?
Oh, love that. Oh, yay. So in the spirit of that, whatever bubbles up, you're so good about this, listening to whatever comes up for you. Whatever bubbles up in whatever way is perfect for you, there are just 5 questions that we end in our heart seat round. Are you ready, my friend?
I am ready.
So what would you say is your core code? Top 3 personal values, if you can name them.
So I just, being in alignment. So what does that mean? It means coming from love, connection, and just being really authentic and listening to me, listening to what is making my heart smile. It's connecting with the divine, with your intuition, with your high self. You know if that is the right step for you. If it's not fear, if it's not forcing, if it's not heavy. So it's always just about getting into alignment, and that is love, that is being authentic, and that is connection with yourself, with the divine, with the love that's in others.
What daily routines do you have that are non-negotiable?
I have never gone to bed in the last, maybe once, 28 years, I think, without writing down what I was grateful for. My gratitude journal is with me everywhere. I take it with me everywhere. And that one time, I said probably like 10 things that I was grateful for. Connecting, finding some time to connect. Before I get out of bed, I'm going to connect with who I am. I'm going to connect with the love that is me. And you could ask anybody. I'm just like, today is big with blessings. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. All things are working for our good. Like, that is truly just how I feel. And sometimes I get, and I go, and sometimes I react, right? Especially like with your family or when things take you off guard. And I will react. I'm so quick at catching myself. And I apologize. I am so sorry. And just to get back into alignment and take that information. What in the world is going on? And usually it's some kind of like safety thing, or like I dig down. Remember when I was talking before, the why. Well, I needed them to act that way. No. We can never need anybody to act anyway. This has to do with us. What did I need? Why do I need them to act that way? And you just kind of drill it down, and then you get, this is all good information. And then I can move from there. And just to stop and question helps take you out of the situation so that you can begin to get back into alignment and get some perspective and not be all in it.
Could you give us an example of exactly what you were talking about, where you reacted wanting somebody to be different so you could feel better?
I mean, all the time, right? like with my husband, okay? So I don't even remember what it was, because now I don't focus on the problems, but he did something, I reacted, I noticed I reacted, and I was like, okay, let me regroup. But I was still triggered. And so I said it wasn't any better what I said. And so I was like, okay, stop. Okay. And then and the whole time, so he knows me, right? Like, he kind of probably got a little, but he saw what I was going through. So that helped. Any reaction that he had with me, that helped to start. By that time, I wasn't irritated at all with him. I was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And so we both just started laughing about it. And then later I reflected, I had drugged something along. I was in too big of a hurry. I was trying to get 5,000 things done, instead of being in flow. I was trying to get a bunch of stuff done. So then he did this, it irritated me, and it's just, that's how it, and that's why I have my alarms set, just so I can try to bring a little bit more peace, bring myself back in a little bit at a time. I notice that when I do that, things are more in flow. And when things take you off guard, you're a little bit like, if you're going to go into a situation that's going to be tense, you can have the presence to go in and be more. But it's when those things take us off guard that we react. But you know what? When I react, I notice it and I apologize, because it's not my natural state. And I know it's not about them. It is always, hear me, always about me.
What?
Always. Now, nobody likes to hear when you tell them that. But
you mean we're the problem all the time? No.
Well, it's just how bad things happen to us. But what I do with that is all on me.
Yes.
And it's okay to get sucked up into it for a minute, but I get the choice. Am I going to live in this, or am I going to live in this? Am I going to be open to how I can look at this for me? How is this, all things are working for my good? So how is this working for my good right now? And it just creates a little bit of space and openness for me to get in contact with the love of me, and let's move on from there and get the information. Let's figure it out from there.
I love that. And you have hit upon my next question in a myriad ways, but if you want to add anything more or encapsulate it, when you feel off kilter, when you feel out of alignment, what brings you back to center?
So I have a lot of things. Like I said, I have movement first. So breathing first, right? Okay. I know that this is energy. So something's going on. So I'm going to release. I have songs that will pop me out of it in no time. Like, I will turn them on. I am dancing. Like, people see me. If they saw me in my house, they'd be like, she's crazy. Like, I am dancing. I'm singing. I know movement. I have all of these. If I'm really, like right now, I love this 3-2-1 process. And especially where I have gone through this guided meditation enough that all I have to do is go 3, 3, 3, and my body relaxes. My brain subconsciously knows what that is, because I've gone through a meditation where I've connected 3, 3, 3 with my body relaxing. So I have it on my website if you want to see it. And then I'll go 2, 2, 2, and my brain relaxes because I've conditioned it. I've done this guided meditation so that my brain knows that. And then I will do 1. And like right now, my heart just lit up. 1, 1, 1. And I have done this expansive love process. So I know that works. Sometimes if my brain is really going, I'll have to do 3. I'll have to do it more than once. But yeah, that's what this toolkit is, y'all. If you come to the Love Your Life toolkit, you're going to get all of these tools to get you back in alignment, because everybody realizes if you are not in alignment with your with yourself, if you haven't dealt with whatever it is, and you got to let that stuff out. You got to figure out what is the good information and then get into alignment. And then you can move from your expansive self, from the love that is you. So yeah, gratitude, all of that. Yeah. I could go on and on, but I think I shared some.
Your toolkit is overflowing and I love it. What do you consider your purpose, your life's mission?
Yeah, this is just to be love and to see the love in others and a connection with love with myself. Love. The other day I had this like experience with a tree, right? I have a tree in my front yard that's like some bark is coming off of it and it is beautiful. And so I just was like, oh, I love you. And I just had an experience with it. And the other day I was swimming and there was this, I can't think of the name of the bug. But it's the exact color of my tiles. And I was like so in love with this. I was like, oh, you are beautiful. Oh, and I just had a moment. So just connection with everything. You know, I can have so much fun by myself or with others or with the divine or with this. You know, it's just about connection.
What is something that very few people, if anybody, knows about you?
I am pretty, Polo knows this, but I'm pretty darn open. I just don't know that there is very much. I don't know. I think when I was younger, I went through some things, nothing traumatic at all, but just, you know, I was always taught that I was the image and likeness of God, that I am divine love. Well, I was 10 feet taller than everybody else. I was not the tiny little girl. So the world didn't actually always reflect back to me that I was the image of God or whatever. So I would start to like make up lies to make myself look bigger because they obviously didn't get it. And so, yeah, I was kind of a liar. But then I found that, I keep going down the slide here. This isn't working too well. So I got a boundary around that, a very hard boundary around that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty open. I don't know what else, but yeah.
I deeply, intimately understand the whole being like rah, 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 rah. Around all of your friends, feeling like you are taller and bigger than everyone. And shout out to Mary Baker Eddy, by the way. And shout out to you for recognizing the Chutes and Ladders slide that you were going down, in the feeling of having lied or you know, playing the hierarchy game and the status game of the mean girl game, and knowing that it didn't feel good. Yeah. And then course correcting with a boundary. Like, that is huge, especially when we're growing up and we're trying to fit in, but we don't fit in. Nobody fits in. And why would you want to fit in? But we don't know that yet, given the small pond that we're in, you know?
And also, all things are working for your good. Like, I wasn't the cute little girl. So I had to be fun. I developed all these other skills. And then later, I became perceived as pretty. You know what I mean? But I already had this worth for myself and, you know, did good. I tried and I had to develop something else because I wasn't the cute little girl, you know?
That is so brilliant. Just as a throwing it out there to find what your thing is.
100%. Yes.
Like, for you, and then just stoke the embers of that inner fire, whatever that may be.
Yes, in comparison, you know, it's the thief of joy. It so is when we're trying to be like everybody else. No, you have something magical in you. So what lights you up? What comes naturally to you? And you go all in on that and don't worry about all the other stuff. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking anymore about, I was just all in on joy and spirituality and then all of a sudden, you know, I would, you know, get accolades for all these things that I was trying to be then. And I didn't even care about those anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, if that's not something you can extrapolate to the rest of your life in every single stage of your life, I do not know what is.
Yes.
Focus on what feels good, and all, like a rising tide, it lifts all boats in your life. That is huge. Oh, Shannon! Is there anything that you would like to leave our audience with before we sign off for the day?
I think that, right? Like, you are love itself. You are valuable because you are here. You are chosen to be here. You have a light within you that is needed. Roll with that. Let's let go of whatever's perceived deficiency. Let's learn from what hurts, but let's amplify what lights you up, because you're magical and we need more of your magic in this world.
Ah, such beautiful words spoken from somebody who is love itself. You are fulfilling your mission with every breath you take and every beat of your big, huge heart, Shannon. I love you dearly. I'm so excited to experience your joy anytime.
Right back at you. We're a lot in the room. I don't know if you can tell, but this is us together. Like, if we're in a room, you hear us, you see us. And if you want to be a part of that joy, then you come. And if you're like, whoa, then you take us individually, because we can also be present and more in peace. But together we're pretty, we got a lot of joy.
I cannot wait until we are in the same room together again. Let's do this very soon. I miss you. I'm missing your gorgeous, shiny face and heart.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for wanting to do this. I love
Thank
you dearly.
you.
We will put everything that you are up to in the show notes. And I cannot wait for people to get a hold of you.
Oh, so fun. I love that you're doing this, and just people need all of this, and they need it from lots of different vantage points so that they can find something that they can connect with. So I love that you're doing this.
What we need to edit out from my hair.
All right, let's see. Does everything look okay? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you look gorgeous. That's a great background.
You too.
I am currently traveling and staying with some beautiful friends of mine. And so I am makeshifting a studio out of...
that works.
Exactly. I mean, I know, I love it. Oh my gosh, it's 11:11.
All right, God is love. That's what I say. That's just what we say in our family anytime we give numbers like that.
Oh my God, I love that. Yay. Are you ready to begin? What better time to begin than 11:11?